Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Lady Raven.
Saleka, I am so impressed with you in this movie. I think outside of Night, you had the most to do. You wrote, produced, and recorded an album, learned choreography, and was acting at the same time as Lady Raven. Can you talk about the discussions you had with your dad about the character and writing the songs from her perspective?
Yeah. I mean, we talked a lot about the characters throughout the process of making the movie in terms of the acting, but also the music. And I mean, his script had a lot of depth to it, so there was already a lot of information there that I could kind of take from and start the process there. And in the beginning, I was sort of pitching him ideas of what the sound would be,
Sure.
kind of getting his take on what he felt like, because it really defines the movie a lot in terms of, like, especially the first half, what the music feels like really it feels like the movie. So I wanted it to feel right for him. And so I was kind of pitching him ideas, and then he said, I like that, I like that, I like that. And then I'd kind of take that and go more into that zone. And so I got to kind of curate this genre and this sound for this artist.
You made a banger of an album, let me just tell you. But one of the coolest things that I think about the music in this is that as the tension builds, we're almost getting an inner dialogue of what Cooper's going through, which is incredible to me. Can you talk about the challenge of writing around like the tension and building the tension and finding that musically and sonically?
That was like the most challenging part, and I love that you mentioned that because it was like a detail that was really important to me, but sometimes people don't see it.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, as the concert's going on, Cooper's story is what we're with, and there's a lot of crazy things happening in the plot. So, you know, the first few songs of the movie are not as dark, and then it kind of gets darker, and even the energy and like the rhythms and the production styles kind of ramps up as the concert's going until the very end. And then the last song, he's kind of joyous, and so we're kind of joyous, and he's like feeling free and all of this kind of stuff. So really, I wanted it to feel in sync with what he's going through and kind of teasing, you know, his storyline.
It's such a great way to build tension. Absolutely incredible. Now, what's also cool about this is an actual concert that happens to have a thriller film in it, which has to be crazy production-wise and also like production design-wise.
Yes.
Can you talk about that approach to the film as well?
I mean, yeah, we were production designing a concert as well as a movie, and so, you know, there was a lot of things going on at once. And for my dad, I don't know how he did it, but we mapped out this whole concert in terms of all the songs, of course, and then we did choreo, costumes. There's different stage production for each song, and then, you know, for him, he's simultaneously directing his camera and then also the cameras that are filming on stage that are doing the live screens. So it was a lot happening.
That's incredible. Now, I love the name Lady Raven. Where did that name come from? And did you have any choice in the matter?
I did, actually. My dad kind of came up with like maybe 5 or 6 names, and he was like, which one do you like? And I was like, Lady Raven. But, you know, Raven is a symbol that is kind of, it's important in our family. I don't know, we've kind of used that symbology. You know, the Blinding Edge logo has like a raven in it, and, you know, my dad, we call our house Ravenwood because my dad really loves that character from Indiana Jones movies. And so the idea of something dark and powerful that's also beautiful, I think, is nice.
Incredible. Now, Josh blew me away in this role.
Oh, yeah, he's incredible.
Here's the thing. I at the core of this movie, I feel like it's really a father-daughter love story.
Yeah.
And there are times where I felt like I was cheering for his character at times, which is so fascinating. Can you talk to me about what he brought to the role of Cooper that wasn't on the page?
So much. I mean, as soon as I saw him play the role, I was like, oh my God, there's this life that he's bringing. He's so funny and he's so good, and you really are charmed by him. I think anyone else in that role, you would not relate to the character as much, like how you did, where you're rooting for him.
Yes.
And that's the genius of Josh. He's so charming, but he's also able to, you see that he's a dark person, but you love him for it. And I think, yeah, I mean, the movie is like, would you still love your dad if he was a serial killer?
Absolutely.
And it's really interesting to think about that.
I know. Now, this is a true collaboration with you and Knight, and this is something that you guys thought about a while back. To see it finally come to fruition, what does that mean for you?
I mean, it's so much. It's, you know, obviously it's so meaningful for me in terms of the role that I got to have in this and writing so much music, and I just had so much fun being part of it. It's like an extreme honor for me, and like I'm so grateful every day. I can't even believe it's happening.
Awesome. Absolutely incredible in this role. I love this film.
Thank
I
you
think
so
the
much.
tension, this is a masterclass in building tension. Incredible
Thank you.
job.
I'm so glad you liked it.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.